although we'll have a nominated member of staff responsible for that particular customer's training program, we'll also have anyone in the team is able to answer calls, queries and so on, so their support always available. The ability to effectively pick off a menu, if you like, to scope the system to the size they want is essential to making sure we give them that solution they need. So we'll give you some basic instruction. It's really a case of practice what you've learned. But no, really play, experiment, put orders through, practice scenarios. We want to see customers try and push the boundaries a bit with what they do.
We've recently done a number of technical corners for PSL Datatrack about a number of modules and an overview of the system and how really it's essential for any machine shop to make them more efficient, ultimately more profitable. But I'm looking at you guys thinking, which modules do I buy and what sort of support and service am I going to get?
Okay, so to start with, we have to have that discussion to determine what the customer really needs. So the point we receive an inquiry, firstly is we need a fact-finding discussion. We need to understand what the customer's pain points are, what issues they've currently got, what the real benefits they want long-term. We have to assess to make sure that there's enough synergy between what the customer or the prospective customer is looking for and what we're able to provide as a solution.
But your software is essentially essential for a subcontract machine shop.
It is. So provide they're a subcontract precision engineer, you'd expect there to be good synergy. There mostly is. Occasionally you'll find a fit that's not quite right. So it's important that we make sure that discussion takes place.
And it's also 26 different modules, so different solutions for different engineers. Every single engineer we see is a different story essentially.
Oh certainly, which is why the ability to effectively pick off a menu, if you like, to scope the system to the size they want is essential to making sure we give them that solution they need.
So you've almost sold me in terms of which modules I need, and we had our fact find. Next stage.
Okay, so we need to run you through a demonstration of the software. Now that could be done remotely via Zoom, for example, but what we'll do...
Other applications are available?
They may well be. The purpose of that is we don't want to take too much of your time because you may have a number of solutions you want to look at. We'll dedicate a short amount of time, we'll give you an overview of the product so you can assess whether you think this is the right direction for where you want to take your production control. If it is, we can then follow up with a more detailed demonstration. It's about making best use of the time.
So you made a decision, I'm going to go with you guys, production control software from PSL Datatrack. What's the next stage?
Okay, so at that point, we've obviously agreed the commercial aspects of the system's installed.
So be it one module, 5 modules, you wouldn't go 26, would you?
It's really unusual to start with the full software, the full scope of modules in the software, to be honest. We would always encourage the customer to pick, if you like, the smallest milestone that's achievable to start with. There's a day job to do at the same time, so complete up to that milestone, get that running, succeed with that, and then add as you go.
Okay, and then training, how are you going to do that?
So training now, to be honest, we deliver it via Zoom as well, and we found that to be really efficient. Historically, we'd spend a day on site, a couple of days. Any training course you do, you don't retain it all, you'll retain a small percentage. By switching to short sessions of say an hour, practice between sessions, the retention is much greater, there's less disruption to the business, we find that the amount of training time required overall is lower, so it's a win-win from both sides.
So encouraging me, I'll get that module to actually go away and play with it. I can't break it, can I?
No, so we'll give you some basic instruction. It's really a case of practice what you've learned. But no, really play, experiment, put orders through, practice scenarios. We want to see customers try and push the boundaries a bit with what they're doing.
Yep.
Come back with questions.
Okay, and come back with questions. You're readily available though?
Certainly, so although we'll have a nominated member of staff responsible for that particular customer's training program, we'll also have anyone in the team is able to answer calls, queries and so on, so their support always available between 9 and 5.
And there's online support as well, so I'm in the module, I can get help from that?
Certainly, there's integrated help, very extensive help that we've developed over the years, and we maintain that to make sure that keeps abreast of new features and so on. There's also, we provide the customers with an implementation guide, so it's to supplement the training, so it's, if you like, it's a series of bullet point steps you need to follow, reminders, so that they've got that as a peace of mind, a bit of security whilst they're practicing things.
Okay, and you mentioned right at the beginning, looking at customers' pain points, you're taking away all the pain points in implementing this new software system.
If you're not taking away the pain points, why are you putting the system in?
Okay,
Yeah.
Now one final thing is, we said it's an off-the-shelf product, but I can build my own sort of system around that in terms of little nuances, because every machine shop is different.
They've all got their own challenges, if you like. Maybe it's customers that give them specific requirements, so it could be extra things on the paperwork, it may be extra controls as they're using the system, so we can bespoke, add additional functionality and so on.
You're obviously taking feedback from customers and building the system around their requirements, but you're developing the whole package for all your customers all the time?
Well, yeah, the wish list system that we run encourages customers to give us feedback. So, of course, we have our own ideas of things we want to do to the system and so on, but there's nothing more valuable than feedback from customers that actually use it in the correct environment day in, day out. So we take those ideas, we look at how we can integrate those ideas into the system. That's how we develop additional functionality. That's how we therefore add value back to the system that we can pass back to our customers.
There you go, you're passing it back to the customers and then ultimately making them a lot more efficient. So there you have it, essential production control software from PSL Datatrack.